You don't want to be one of those brands that's here now and gone tomorrow. This whole concept of fast fashion, it's all around being trend driven. You might end up sacrificing the long-term brand loyalty because all you care about is the short-term sales. If you were to start a brand new brand from scratch, is there something that you would do differently from when you started out? The way in which Tommy was able to build a brand that stands the test of time is that he focused on the long-term brand consistency rather than chasing. Welcome to the Disruptionist, where the status quo has no seat at the table. I'm Jess Singh, and this is your invitation to join the movement of game-changing, boundary-pushing strategies that will take your marketing, branding, and customer journey to the next level. Let's get disruptive. We're living in the world now where fast fashion is becoming kind of prevalent and mainstream. And there was just something about the importance of what he did to build a household name brand that sort of really stood out to me. So I was thinking, well, what makes Tommy Hilfiger different from Shein, for example? When he was up on stage in Florida, he was just talking about the role that the American dream really played into his story. If you were to start a brand new brand from scratch, is there something that you would do differently from when you started out? One of the coolest things about my job is that I get to meet some of the best people out there in the industry, so iconic folks. And today I'm going to spill some secrets that I learned from Tommy Hilfiger when I got the chance to meet him in Florida last year. So let's have a think about what makes Tommy Hilfiger such an iconic brand. Essentially, if you don't know, Tommy Hilfiger is synonymous with timeless, classic American style. And his brand has stood the test of time by staying true to its core identity and appealing to multiple generations. This episode, it's my chance to basically break down everything that I've learned from meeting Tommy Hilfiger and how these lessons can apply to you and your business irrespective of what industry you're in. One of the most important things that I took away is actually how to create a brand with longevity. You don't want to be one of those brands that's here now and gone tomorrow. The way in which Tommy was able to build a brand that stands the test of time is that he focused on the long-term brand consistency rather than chasing trends. If you're able to stick to a really, really clear brand identity like he did in terms of the values of his organization, the aesthetics, the mission, he was able to then create the trust and loyalty amongst his customers. So his style is quite American, it's quite preppy, and you could almost flip a page in a magazine and know without even looking at the logo, the fact that they were basically promoting Tommy's clothing. So the key takeaway here is that your brand should evolve, but make sure that the core message and the values remain consistent. That's the way that you're going to ensure longevity with your own customers and your own brand. Another thing that I thought was super interesting about meeting Tommy is we're living in the world now where fast fashion is becoming kind of prevalent and mainstream. And there was just something about the importance of what he did to build a household name brand that sort of really stood out to me. So I was thinking, well, what makes Tommy Hilfiger different from Shein, for example? So as a household brand, what Tommy's done is he's focused on quality and heritage to basically build something that's premium and quite lasting. His brand also aligns with lifestyles and values that a lot of his customers are aspiring towards. So therefore, he's able to build that emotional connection. He's also creating longer-term customer loyalty. So I think once you're a Tommy advocate and you wear his brand, you tend to keep going back. Like I personally, once I started wearing his stuff, I just loved it for the simplicity. I absolutely love his t-shirts, and I continue to look for something that might be a new color, so trendy in that respect, but it still has the same shape, it still has the same fitting, and it still gives me that strong association with that American style. On the other hand, you've got brands like Shein. Essentially, they are literally just prioritizing speed and the affordability. And it must be tough actually just trying to constantly keep up with changing trends. It might also mean that your purchasers or your customers are a bit fickle. So their branding is built more around the fact that there's rapid releases of, new and exciting things. It's all around accessibility, and it's more about focusing on the volume than it is building that emotional connection with their customers. When I think of Shein, I don't really think that it's evoking much emotion in me other than like, oh, there's something that's trendy that I need for a specific reason and perhaps I'll find it on Shein. That's usually how I approach buying from them. They are hugely price driven as well. And to be honest, I think it's a super transactional relationship rather than actually fostering long-term loyalty like Tommy's been able to do with his customers. Hi guys, I'm just jumping in quickly to stop you there. I just wanted to remind you, if you're a small business owner or you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to gain some clarity or strategies around your marketing, branding, the way in which you can work with customers, you can contact me by checking out the information below. I'm here to support you to start making some really positive disruptions to the industry that you work in and for you and your business. Right back to the episode. So what are some of the key lessons if we look at it from Tommy's perspective? When it comes to his brand, he has remained 100% consistent. You think about whether it's to the way in which his products are designed, the way that he advertises, or what he's doing on social media, it's pretty consistent in terms of its messaging. So that's putting customers at ease because they know what to expect from the brand. And it makes it feel like, yeah, this is like a reliable brand that I can trust. So what does this mean for you? Have a think about your messaging and visuals. Is the tone aligned across all of the different touch points of your business? If not, have a chat to someone who's more experienced and sort of can help you make sure that every aspect of your customer journey is tailored in terms of the messaging and consistent in terms of things like visuals and tone. What about this whole concept of timeless versus trendy? I think the thing that Tommy teaches us is that basically you should curate a product line that aligns with your core brand identity. If you focus on quality over quantity, you're able to build a lasting brand. Whereas this whole concept of fast fashion, it's all around being trend driven. And maybe by focusing on that, you might end up sacrificing the long-term brand loyalty because all you care about is the short-term sales. It's like sales, sales, sales. Don't care if it's not something that they wear often or come back to on a regular basis. So for you, the takeaway is that although fast fashion thrives on constant change, long-term brands benefit from a strong core product offering that stands the test of time. Personally, I'd rather be that brand that is strong, incredible, and is around for a long time than something that is just fast and forgotten. The other thing that I truly love about what Tommy Hilfiger does is the fact that he's using storytelling to build quite an emotional connection with his customers. When he was up on stage in Florida, he was just talking about the role that the American dream really played into his story. So all of his brand narrative, it was about making his clothes or his brand super relatable to the person out there, the average person looking for the American dream, but still also slightly aspirational as well. So the lesson that you can take away from this is that as a small business, you should maybe look at using authentic storytelling as well to humanize your own brand and maybe create a connection that's far beyond just the product. One of the questions that Tommy was asked when I had the chance to meet him was, if you were to start a brand new brand from scratch, is there something that you would do differently from when you started out? And I'm pretty sure he was sort of talking about when he first started out, it was to do with jeans and just being on the ground and just trying to sell them wherever he could go, versus now what he would do is launching a brand new brand today. He would actually buy a shop or lease a shop right next to someone like a Louis Vuitton or any other luxury brand. And the strategy that he was basically sharing here with us is the fact that around brand association, being seen near like these top tier brands immediately elevates and positions your own. So as a business owner yourself, have a think about how positioning you alongside other established or respective competitors could potentially boost your own brand's credibility, and how would it impact its perceived value? Chances are that it would be quite high. There's a lot of work that's done for you in establishing and positioning your brand to be quite well respected without having to do too much hard work to get there. There was one other thing that really stood out to me when I got the chance to meet with Tommy. His wife was actually invited to be there along with him. And a lot of us might not know, but she's actually gone out there and tried to develop her own brand as well. I shouldn't say tried to, she's actively got a brand. It's a footwear brand, but it's interesting because even though she's married to one of the most iconic brands out there, it's still a struggle to have the same sort of notoriety or to have the same kind of profile as someone like Tommy, who's built his brand over years and years and years. I'm hoping that Dee will get there too. She's got a loyal following, but it was just quite amazing that in one forum, I was able to see one of the most iconic brands that took time to create next to his partner, who is in the same sort of space, so fashion, footwear, who's giving it a shot. But I guess you can just see the struggle and the importance that branding, I suppose, will play in her journey as well. So super exciting to be able to learn from the best. I wish I could spend more time with you just to tell you all the amazing and wonderful things that I learned from Tommy. But the key things that we've covered here today and the branding lessons that hopefully you've taken away is the fact that you need to constantly focus on the consistency, quality, and emotional connections that you're creating with your customers. If you know your brand's core values and the message, make sure you stay true to them, even as trends shift. Whether you're building a household name or a fast-moving brand, it comes down to authenticity and connection. Stick to that and your brand will perhaps have the chance of success similar to Tommy Hilfiger. And just remember, you don't have to do this on your own. You can reach out to people like myself. It's our job to constantly be connecting with industry folks like Tommy to learn the best of the best from them so that we can help apply it to your business to make you super successful as well. Thanks for joining me on The Disruptionists. If this episode sparked new ideas or challenged your thinking, I'd love your support with a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And don't forget to subscribe to your favorite platform to catch every disruptive insight. For more behind-the-scenes content and to connect with like-minded disruptors, follow me at It's Jess Singh across all social platforms. And remember, stay disruptive.